Hi Doc, tell me if this has happened to you. You're enthusiastic about helping people in the community and you start to arrange this campaign where you begin to get feedback from your patients in the office and they start leaving you great feedback online and you're very happy because now you're going to help more people. And then all of a sudden, down the road, Google wipes out some of your reviews. Have you ever had that happen to you? You've got 50 reviews and all of a sudden you're down to 10. Or you've got 100 reviews and you're down to 80. If you've actually had that happen to you, let me know. Just type yes right now. Well, here's the deal. After working with thousands and thousands of chiropractors, I've found that there are really 8 primary reasons why your Google reviews will either disappear or get filtered. So listen, pay close attention to this information, and certainly if you find valuable anything that I say, thumb it up and tag a friend you feel could benefit from this information. Now, the number one reason, I'm just going to get right into it too. Actually, let's talk about the fact that you're not alone, because this happens to so many doctors. So if you're going through this, somebody else is probably going through this as well. But there's good news that you can actually overcome and get those reviews to come back in most cases. Now, Google does have their own algorithm tweaks and adjustments, so this is going to work about 95% of the time. It's still a high percentage, but there is an X factor there. So the number one reason that your review might not stay, or it would actually disappear completely, is the person leaving the feedback for you doesn't have a large history. They don't have a big history with Google. Now, Google is not as strict as, let's say, Yelp about this, but if a person leaves you a review, they just open up a Google account today and all of a sudden they don't do anything for a while, well, Google looks at that as a little bit suspect, so they might temporarily filter the review and make it disappear. That's one reason. Number 2 is abnormal activity. So for example, if you have a review campaign in your office, and I know a lot of doctors that still do this and I don't recommend it. If you get 60 reviews in 3 days, that looks abnormal. So naturally, Google's going to say, wait a minute, something's not right here. You only had 10 reviews on your Google Maps listing for the last 5 years, and all of a sudden you got 60 reviews in what, 4 or 3 days? Well, Google might trip some flags with them, and so they might filter a bunch. Naturally, if you want your reviews to stick, you're going to get them consistently over time. Maybe an extra 5 reviews a week, very consistently, right? So, and you might even pick and choose who decides to give you feedback. If somebody doesn't have a large amount of reviews that they've left for other businesses on Google, that's your personal choice to say, okay, well, maybe that person might not be a good candidate. I will say that you can still use those reviews and people that they don't have a lot of experience, because most times they don't get filtered. Now, another reason, number 3, why the reviews might get filtered is because they're all coming from the same IP address. A lot of chiropractors still approach me and they say, hey, I've been getting reviews, having patients go to the front desk and go on our computer. Don't do that, because that is a surefire way for your reviews to disappear. And even if they do stay, a week down the road, a year down the road, they could still get flagged. So I recommend that if somebody comes into your office and leaves a review, have them do it from their phone. In most cases, that's not a problem with Google. That's how many local businesses do it anyway. So that would be the solution for that. Another reason that your Google review might disappear or get filtered is it looks overly spammy or sensational, like the tabloid National Enquirer or something. It's just way crazy and out there, or it just looks super spammy if it's 2 or 3 words that this person left on you. Oh, great chiropractor, and maybe they've done the same thing for other businesses. Very simple. That kind of looks spammy. So that's another reason why your review may get filtered. The 5th reason is if you got your website or somebody put a website in the review itself. That's a big no-no. So always read Google's terms of service and their guidelines right off the bat, right? You should go there right now and in fact read their guidelines, because you might pick up something new and realize that maybe you were violating their terms of service on accident, but those reviews were filtered. Now, another reason, number 6, that your reviews might be getting filtered is if you are just copying and pasting, or having patients copy and paste from a third-party website. Could be Yelp, City Search, Angie's List. I mean, the list goes on at these websites. I can't say this is a big deal yet. I haven't had a lot of clients that I would correlate with that one particular thing, but it would not surprise me, and I've been reading a lot about this issue, so many others would say that that can cause your reviews to get filtered. So if somebody goes on Yelp and they just copy their Yelp review onto Google, well, that can cause a big issue or potentially get filtered. So if somebody is going to be kind enough to leave you a review on multiple networks, then maybe you just have them mix it up a little bit. Maybe use synonyms, restructure the sentences, but don't copy and paste the same exact thing. Now, the seventh reason why is you might have a duplicate listing on Google itself. So if you have a listing in your name or your practice name, and then there is a duplicate listing, well, you know from the past, like I've spoken about, that you could be in jeopardy of getting one of those listings filtered. So that would be an option. Make sure you look through Google on a regular basis to see if you do have a duplicate listing out there. And if you do, you can always claim that listing, then delete it. That's the best thing. And the eighth reason would be the actual patient or client that came in your office, they deleted their review for some odd reason, or they put it as private. Those are the 8 most common reasons that I have found. Now, something interesting, this is a little hack. I can't explain why this can sometimes reset the Google reviews, but it does. So if you notice that certain amount of reviews have disappeared, or even all of your reviews have disappeared, go back into your Google My Business section and edit your listing, and you're gonna see a section back there, an option to edit or manage this listing. And when you go to manage that listing, one of the options there will be to edit your location marker or the pinpoint or whatever it says. You can basically move that little pinpoint around, save it, move it back around to your correct location. And I've seen that reset reviews as well as locations and even ranking in some cases. So that's a little hack that you can use that might actually benefit you greatly. So yeah, there it is, 8 common reasons. Let me go ahead and give some shout outs. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. You know I'm always here for you. Russell, Shannon, Tina, good to see you. Dina, Sammy. Russell says, had 220 reviews and dropped to 193 a month ago. Found out it was because old reviews used to be anonymous, and they got rid of those last month. That's a great point, Russell. Thank you for pointing that out. That's actually 9. If the reviews are anonymous, then Google, Yelp, and all these other networks are starting to filter more, which is kind of a good thing in that regard, because then, you know, somebody that might not even has been to your office, they could go and create a new profile anonymously and leave a review. So that could be a great thing in disguise. It always sucks to get reviews filtered, you know, it's just very frustrating, but again, that could be a good thing. All right, Ali Khan, Craig, what's up? Any questions, post them below while I'm online. Hey, tag a chiro that you feel could benefit from this information. And also, I just wanted to thank all of you that tuned in to our Instagram advertising masterclass last night. What a phenomenal webinar. Had 500 doctors on there, completely packed house. Lots of great comments. Marla, good to see you. Noel, Brandy, Dina, Mike, Sarah, Andrew. All right, Latanya, Justin. What's up, Justin? Patrick. Steven says, years ago, some consultants were recommending patients do the reviews in the office so you could walk them through it. I never followed the advice as I could predict the problem. Wow, I was right. Yeah, no, absolutely. I've never recommended to do the reviews directly from that same computer. That's really not a good idea because, you know, times have changed a lot over the last 10 years, I would say. Google's always trying to fight hackers and spammers and people that are gaming the system. Realistically, I mean, it would be very difficult to get about 20 or 30 usernames and logins, and theoretically you should be able to do it from the same computer, but I never recommend doing that because Google just doesn't like it, because, you know, for whatever reason. So always from their mobile device, or if you can get them to do it at home, but you might have to give them an incentive. Sometimes life gets in the way. You're not their first priority. They will forget about you in that. So anyway, hey, listen, if you are a chiropractor right now on this, you found this valuable, and we're not connected, and you're not involved with Social Media Elite, my flagship training yet, you need to get with the program, get with the times. This is one of my flagship trainings over 8,200 chiropractors have used, get testimonials all the time because of it. You might be tapping into social media a little bit. If you're looking to really exponentially multiply your results, and not just with Google, but Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, if you have all these things working for you 24/7, you can create this machine. And I can tell you great success stories of clients that do over 30, 40, 100 new patients per month just from the internet and social media when you dial all this stuff in. So if you're not at those levels, 20, 40 new patients, there's plenty of room for growth. And that is a great thing. If you go to dcincome.com/GO, you can learn more about Social Media Elite and see what over 32 doctors had to say about this program. There's no sense in trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm always here for you. I always try to provide great tips and valuable information that will help you grow very, very quickly. And just little things like this, why Google reviews get filtered, this could easily add another 6 figures to your bottom line this year. Ask some of the people that are on this live broadcast right now. Because once your Google Maps listing gets, at the top 3 of the 3-pack, and you've got a large amount of reviews, if your average case value is worth 1,000, 2,000 for everyone that walks through the door, those numbers add up very, very quickly. I always tell the story of Dr. Joe. He was a client of mine out west in Seattle, and he came to me. He was actually a coaching client, but he came to me, and he was attracting some patients from Google every single month, and then all of a sudden it stopped. I think he was attracting 1 or 2, so it wasn't a huge amount. But for about 6 months there, it stopped. And so one of my other clients referred him to me, and then the first thing that I did was I Googled his name. I Googled just his practice name, his name, and I saw that there was a negative review. Yelp, City Search, Google, and it was over a billing issue like I'm sure that you've never had happen before in your office, right? We all have. There's always, sometimes there are miscommunications along the chain, and it's unfortunate. But so the first thing that we did was we worked on creating more reviews in his office, getting a campaign together. 20, 30 reviews later over the next 2 months, he basically, if you look at the average person that came in, I want to say that amounted to an extra 2 to 3 phone calls per week just after he got his reputation straight online. And 2 to 3 calls per week translated into an extra 6 to 8 new patients per month worth $1,500. You do the math. Per patient. So, you're talking about a lot that people can leave on the table. So don't do that. Refine and tighten this protocol in your practice, and you will see more prosperity as a result. You'll be able to help more people and obviously have a fun and happier practice that way. So Kai says, been using your Profit 365 program for a few weeks now. Thanks. Awesome. Yeah, we're helping a lot of docs, especially in the Spanish market. There's still huge opportunity in the English markets, but those, they're grossly underserved areas in the Spanish communities, or even when you get outside of the United States. So that's awesome here. Awesome news to hear. David, what's up? Richard, Carlo, good to see you guys. All right. Well, hey, listen, I thought you'd find value from that. And again, you know what to do. If you like this content, thumb it up, tag a chiro you feel could benefit from this information. And I would love to have you along with our 1,200 plus members in our Social Media Elite private Facebook group, dcincome.com/GO. If you have any questions, post them down below, and follow me on Instagram at Instagram/MatthewLoop. I'm giving away a smooth mobile stabilizer. This is really cool piece of technology. If you go on my profile on Instagram, you'll be able to see it and learn more about it. I'm doing these giveaways all the time. 1, because I'm paying it forward, and 2, because I'm showing you guys different strategies and ways that you can grow your fan base so people know, like, and trust you, so they stay tuned, and obviously you can help more people. Anyway, have a fantastic day. Cheers to massive success and prosperity. Love you guys.